Need a search engine optimization SEO services? Then get in touch with our professional and friendly team to learn more about our range of custom and tailored services designed to suit your exact needs. Every one of our professionals have acquired years of experience, which ensures you get the very best. Our experienced staff is waiting to hear from you and to answer any specific questions that you may have on how we can meet your needs. Just ask for a consultation and let us prove our commitment to you as we promise to maintain the highest level of quality and commitment. Your satisfaction is our prime concern. So please, don't hesitate to get in contact with us and let us show you all the great options we have.
And we are the Coalition, loud and proud, outrage porn free, civilly disobedient media broadcasting live on the Worldwide Coalition Radio Network at coalitionradionetwork.com. Facebook.com/The Coalition Radio, on the mighty Twitter at Coalition_radio, and of course the mothership at coalitionradio.us, where links to our YouTube, our Spotify, our Facebook, our Twitter, everything you need for the life you lead. Well, I am about to introduce someone who's an old friend of mine. We have spent many a Friday night struggling together under, if you will, the pall that all the technical background of indie media puts on you. We're running a few minutes late, and I apologize for that. There was a little bit of tech issue on our side. But to say that you've got disparate systems working with individual pieces of software over an internet that's completely overburdened with the prospect of millions of children doing Zoom right now with their friends, after doing Zoom all day with their parents and teachers, is the understatement. But it is with great pleasure to introduce, if you will, front forward to the audience, someone who who helped me through a number of tech issues. Someone who is always there for me as a pal while we're doing the coalition in what we call 3.0 at Go Local Prov. By the way, a wonderful organization doing yeoman's work in terms of news gathering in a very difficult period. But Joe Calabro and I bonded there, didn't we, Joe?
Many Friday nights.
The only thing that's missing is the snacks. Understand that virtually there is a large bag of beef jerky and various forms of caffeine delivery systems, in addition to puffy Cheetos and the real greasy stained Cheetos. All right. So Joe, this is kind of intriguing. We're both on the same side of the camera. It's good to see you again, buddy.
It's good to see you. Thanks so much for having me on. And yeah, it's fun to be on this side of the camera instead of behind the wall somewhere.
Right. So a lot of folks have faced this Corona period with great trepidation because aside from the social distancing, aside from the separation of families, aside from the pain that it's caused a lot of people in terms of human suffering, loss of life, in terms of its impact on the economy, it's also, for a lot of us, presented ourselves with an opportunity to look ourselves in the mirror and we say, how do we use this time? What can we use this for? And early on, there were a lot of folks posting memes about it. If you don't take your side hustle and work it, if you don't do this project, if you don't learn something new while you're at home, and the pressure from that. But congratulations, Joe. You and your group at Golf News RI have used this time very wisely. And I want to take this opportunity to introduce to the coalition audience golfnewsri.com, a beautiful site, fairly self-explanatory, geared towards the news surrounding the business of, the playing of, the teaching of, the supplying of the game of golf, the great game right here in Rhode Island. Joe, congratulations on this effort. Tell me, what was the inspiration, and give us a little background about you as a golfer. I mean, golf has been an important part of your life, well, forever, hasn't it?
Just about. I started playing golf when I was a kid. And, when you're a kid, you always want to do something else, right? You always want to be a professional hockey player, a basketball player. I never had much interest in playing baseball because it's kind of boring, but whatever. But then once you get to about high school and you realize that you stick at all those sports, the only sport you can play for the rest of your life is golf. And so I decided to take golf seriously in high school, relatively seriously, obviously. I didn't make the golf team there, but I got to play for free and play with my friends, and that was all that mattered. And so then ever since then, I kind of just been playing golf, and most of my family plays golf. I will say, I like a lot of people my age and my generation. Tiger Woods is a huge reason why I play golf. Is a huge reason why I got into golf. But obviously, my dad is a big golfer. My family is a big golfer, so that was a big reason as well. And then with Golf News RI, it's kind of a funny story. So my buddy, who's the other co-founder, Rich Capali, he used to be a manager at the parking garage across the street from PPAC on Way Boston Street. And as you know, I used to work down the street from there. And so, and that's actually how we met, just because I used to park there and he used to work there. So one night we were just hanging out there for a while. He would work in the office and I would just hang out for an hour or something or more. And one night he comes up with this idea of, there should be a golf course reviews app, for your phone where people can in real time give a review of whatever golf course they're playing. That way other people know, other golfers know, hey, if is this course in great shape or is it in crappy shape, and something like that. So then he kind of said that idea I think he was like half joking, but then I kind of took it and ran with it and kind of created this whole big thing that we can do. And I kind of put it together and that's how we got where we are. And then I put together a whole business plan. And over the last year plus, I kind of, not that I sat on it, but I kind of just did some research on it. I talked to various club pros across the state, got their thoughts on the idea, and they all backed it. So right away we had however many, 4 or 5, more than that, club pros, some of which I knew, some of which I didn't, that thought it was a great idea and that thought there was a place in the state for it. And so then a bunch of weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago, I guess, we decided to launch and just go with it. And it was interesting, as you talked about the coronavirus, one of the struggles, well, I don't want to say struggles, but one of the issues that I faced was, should I launch during this virus or should I try to hold on to it and wait for this thing to clear? And then it became obvious that this wasn't going anywhere. The coronavirus wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. And golf courses are still open in Rhode Island. Rhode Island is only one of 2 states in New England that is still playing golf. The other one is Connecticut. And so we've had new content just about every day. We've had great content, all different things. And so now here we are 2.5 weeks in or so. And we've done over 4,000 page views in those 2 weeks. And so we're just kind of taking it day by day, trying to build it one step at a time. And that's kind of where we are today. Just again, trying to build it one step at a time and see where it goes.
The beauty of this is that it reads and flows very much like a regular Saturday morning golfer would want it to flow. You've got, and we'll go through each section individually, but you've got golf news, golf business, learning the game, which is my skills are somewhat lacking on the course. I'll just leave it at that. 2 words, hello, ball. Golf course reviews, which was the progenitor, if you will, of the entire exercise. And then you've got something called Tour Tracker. Now, obviously, Tour Tracker is a little bit on hiatus, but we'll get into that for a few minutes. But essentially, if you're a Southern New England golfer, this is essentially got everything you need to be part of your golfing week. And I think we all, particularly after the weather for the last couple of weeks, holy cow! I mean, talk about drizzle misery. I think we all hearken, regardless if we're a golfer or not, for that smell of freshly cut grass and a dewy New England summer morning where you're up a little bit too early, but that's why God invented a Bloody Mary, right? And you hit the course. And so for a lot of folks, even in isolation, as we all still find ourselves, this is just an opportunity to kind of, as they would say, wet your whistle or perhaps get a little taste of that which is to come, and it will come. It will come back, and in fact, if any of the sports, for the fact that it is a largely, I wouldn't say solitary sport, you're going out in a twosome or foursome, it does present the opportunity to play outdoors, getting you the sun and the vitamin D we all know now we need, to engage in an athletic pursuit. And anyone who hasn't played 18 holes of golf will tell you that it is an athletic pursuit. And at the same time, maintain the appropriate distancing, yet you still have the feel of camaraderie. It really is, perhaps, in its own way, the perfect sport for these times that we suddenly face. And I know a lot of people are just itching to get out. So let's go over section by section, because, again, the initial feature was going to be golf course reviews. And so this is something that is submitted. People, your listeners, or in this case, I'm sorry, your readers, if you will, are going to be able to submit individual reviews to you, and then you just print them. It's kind of a real-time analysis of what's going on in Rhode Island golf courses.
Basically, we just officially launched the review section last week, I think, just like officially, with an announcement and everything, what was required. So basically what we want is people just to go out and play golf at whatever course they play at and send in a review. It doesn't have to be long. We're not looking for a book. We're not looking for, in-depth reporting. We're just looking for a basic review of how was your experience at golf course X? Was it in good shape? Was it a mess? Should they, get rid of it? We're not looking for that necessarily, but, basically what was their experience. And we post all the reviews with very limited editing, other than, as I said in the intro piece to the golf course review section, other than basic grammar and spelling errors, there's very limited editing. And we basically post it. It's listed as anonymous, so we keep people's names out of it. That way no one gets in trouble at their course, or no one gets in trouble with their friends or anything like that. And we post them, and the bunch that we have posted have done amazing page views. People are just interested in knowing what shape golf courses are in, especially this early in the season. Some of them are iffy, some of them are in great shape, kind of depending on where you play and depending on how they handled the winter. And every golf course is different. So we're just looking for regular people to write in reviews, good or bad, and we post them to Facebook. And all of them have been good so far. And again, we do very minimal editing with them. Obviously, if you drop an F-bomb or something, we're editing that out, but no one has done that so far. So that's kind of where we're going with it. And like I said, it was my friend Rich's, that was his original idea. His idea was to do an app. We're not quite at the app stage yet, but perhaps we will be down the road. But this is kind of phase one, or as you call it, 1.0.
Absolutely. No, it's interesting because I brought up the Harbor Lights review someone submitted. This person is sort of a just the facts kind of guy or gal. We won't know, but the information they gave was very pertinent. A scenic 9-hole course adjacent to a marina, offering picturesque views in the parking lot and glimpses on the course. That gives you a little flavor. I mean, the beauty of this is that there will be people trying out different courses based on people's positive reactions, around the state. Giving little insights like that. The pro is very friendly and gave some insight. The course is slightly gimmicky due to acreage constraints, but the real strength of the course is the location and price point. Those are the kind of things regular folks want to know. I tend to, when my experience with folks who cover golf as on media is they're trying to create poetry. And for regular folks, they want to know how the course plays. They want to know if the pricing's fair. They want to know if it's in good shape. Because for a lot of folks, particularly given the times we're in, they may not be able to get out as many times as they want this year. And they want to make it work. And they want to, and they also want to contribute to the overall field. So the review notion of the course is that section, that's genius. And it's going to be interesting to see, because given the kind of page views you're getting, you're going to see courses have to respond. You don't like anything else, whether you're a car dealer or an Asian restaurant, a couple of shots and all of a sudden you got issues. You got a lot to overcome there. So that's the beauty of it. You've effectively brought this new age review/gig approach to golf courses. A couple of folks have
right.
thrown
And the thing is,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and courses are, they could respond, but the thing is, it's not us writing them. It's not me sitting there writing a review. These are people that have played the course writing it in. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of, yeah, it's on them to sort of fix whatever issues they might have. But so far, no one, there aren't too many bad reviews up so far. But
Right.
so far, we haven't had that issue. And if we do, we'll handle it. But again, as people are writing the reviews in, and they do get looked at. I said very minimal editing. There is, but they do get looked at, and double checked and stuff like that. So it's not like we're just posting anything up there. They are looked at.
Right.
Just to be clear.
No, absolutely. This is great stuff. Do you see yourself at some point accumulating reviews under, say, a single course, or if you get multiple reviews for Harbor Lights, is there going to be a section where Harbor Light reviews are kind of queued up, sort of Yelp style? Is that part of the cards, or are you just going to kind of keep this concurrent roll going? What are your thoughts?
Oh yeah, maybe eventually. That's definitely an option. Something that we thought about, having different courses, and you just click on a button or a tab, whatever you want to call it, and you can post a review under that course. That's certainly something that we'll think about in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, right now we're just trying to get the basics of a website down pat, and see where it goes. But certainly we're always going to be looking for ways to advance it and ways to make it easier. And like I said, my buddy's original idea was a phone app, and eventually, we're not quite there yet, but eventually that could be something down the road as well, or maybe like a 5-star rating thing. Rate the course from 1 to 5, 5 being the best, obviously. Something
Mm-hmm.
like that is all something that we've thought about and talked about, and could be in the works down the road. But for right now, we're just going to do it like this, and we're not asking people to write in a book, or not even a paragraph, just a few sentences, maybe some basic information. And we'll post it and go from there. And we try to ask them to post it within, a day or two ish of them playing their round, just to try to have it as real time as possible. And I understand people have things to do and people have lives, so we're not, super strict on that. But ideally, we want people to post it within a couple days of their round, just for it to be as real time as possible. But obviously, there are other factors that go into that stuff with everyday people.
If you're just joining us, Joe Calabro, who is we worked together over at Go Local Proud for a few years, had a lot of fun. Joe bailed me out of a lot of situations. He's a real pal. And he and his partner have started golfnewsri.com, which is a multifaceted website focused like a laser, if you will, on, I'll call it, the southern New England golf scene. Let's step aside from the site for just a second. What is the current state of golf here in Rhode Island? You read anecdotally that, in a sense, a combination of the economy and Corona obviously is going to have an impact on it. Is it healthy? Are young people learning to play? Do you see still see a lot of league play? What's the overall picture?
So nationally, the National Golf Foundation just released their 2020 industry report, which basically is golf business report, and we posted it on our website. You can find it. And nationally, the game grew by 6.4% over the last 2 years, I think is what they said. So take that for whatever it's worth. But they include everything. They include people that go out to the golf course. They include people that just go out to the driving range and fool around for an hour. And so that they take into account all different kinds of factors. It's actually pretty interesting. And again, the report and the whole chart is on our website. If you like charts and graphs, that story is for you. Locally, as I think I mentioned off the top, even with this coronavirus pandemic, Rhode Island is only one of 2 states in New England that has golf courses open. Now the country clubs aren't open, or at least not for dining anyway. But the courses are open, so you can still go play. Other than courses in Providence, which Mayor Lorza closed on April 7th, I want to say. That date might be wrong, but somewhere around there, he closed Providence golf courses for play, and those are still yet to reopen. The most namely one that people would recognize is Triggs Memorial Golf Course, which is right near Mount Pleasant High School. Providence courses are closed, but most of the courses in Rhode Island are open for play. In fact, I was talking to the National Golf Foundation today via email, and they gave me a stat. They said 75% of courses in Rhode Island are open. And that's funny because we put up a story today, it broke today, just 19% of courses in New England are open. And that so for us to have 75% open, that's pretty good compared to the rest of the region. So courses are still open, people are still playing. From what I've been told, the courses are packed. I think people are just looking to get out of their house for the most part, especially on these nice days. And so it gives them something to do. If you walk 9 holes, or sometimes I'll go in the evening, I'll just play, a couple holes just to get some swings in. It's still April, so it's still kind of early for golf season in Rhode Island, but people want to get in shape early and get ready for tournament season, which starts around June, we hope. Golf is healthy. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, speaking of tournament season, we do have, or I should ask you, because so much is it's so vague now. There is a major destination tournament that has occurred every year as a charity event. What is the status of that, and what is the outlook for that? That's been a major part of the golf scene in Rhode Island as long as I can remember.
So you're talking about the CVS Charity Classic, which has been run every year in Rhode Island since I can remember. I think they originally started at Pleasant Valley Country Club in just outside of Worcester. But either way, it's been in Rhode Island for any number of years now, and that's canceled for this year. They made the announcement a couple of weeks ago. It was canceled due to the coronavirus, and so I'm not 1,000% sure what the status of it is going to be going forward. That tournament is close to me because I used to volunteer there when I was a kid, and I met guys like, obviously Brad Faxon and Billy Andrade, but I also met Arnold Palmer there. I got to meet him. He was a cool guy. Obviously he's a legend. I got to meet Annika Sorenstam, who's a legend in women's golf. That story has always been kind of close to me. That tournament has always kind of been close to me. Just I used to work there, and I got to meet a lot of people and have a lot of great experiences. So we'll see what the status of it is going forward. It's hard to say one or the other. Over the last few years, it's gone from a 3-day tournament with one of the days being a pro-am to now it's just a 1-day golf tournament, and they have 2 days of events. They have the Crave Festival, which is always at the Dunkin' Donuts Center, and then they have the pro-am. Then they have the 1-day professional tournament. It's kind of shrunk, but they do a lot of good work for charity, and hopefully they can bring it back. But obviously, I think this coronavirus and everything being canceled is going to make course places, anything, rethink a lot of their tournaments or events going forward. I think the whole sports landscape is going to be changed for at least a while going forward because of this. And I don't think golf tournaments that you can go watch are going to be much different. But the CVS Classic was canceled, and earlier yesterday, the Northeast Amateur was canceled. The Northeast Amateur is not quite the CVS Classic, but they have some of the best college players from all over the world come in. They play Wannamoisa Country Club. It's a 4-day tournament. Pros like Tiger Woods and Jordan Spieth and Dustin Johnson, they've all come here and played that tournament when they were amateurs. And yesterday they announced that tournament was canceled, which is a disappointment because I really like going to that tournament, and it's free to go to. So that's another good thing about it. But so unfortunately, 2 major tournaments in Rhode Island this summer have been wiped out because of the virus. But generally speaking, I mean, all golf courses are open. The game is healthy and places are packed from what I'm told. And, people are just trying to get some golf in and probably just get out of their house is probably the biggest thing.
No, absolutely. You cover, as you mentioned, golf news, and that it's interesting. It'll be fascinating to see what big sports media does in an age where over the next year, we're certainly going to see limited versions of the big 4 or 5 sports. Very often, golf coverage was something that was in conventional sports media was sort of shuttled back, but here it's your laser focus, and you play. So it's not just something you cover. So many of the talking heads on these sports channels, particularly radio or former football or baseball or basketball players, this is, athletically, this is the primary focus in your life. So you can you've got the skills in terms of understanding what people are looking for in terms of information. So you're covering golf news, you're covering golf business. Talk to me about learning the game. You know, a big part of the golf picture in Rhode Island has always been youth golf. That's something you've been championed at the club level as well as the interscholastic level. You know, clubs, I assume, are ready to open for business, aren't they? I mean, you're going to see social distancing, but when it comes to the variety of golf clubs, most of them are going to open as well as close to a normal practice schedule as always, right? I mean, are there anybody visibly that's going to be off the radar this year?
No, I mean, I think most clubs are ready to go. Most clubs are raring to go. An issue is going to be getting, the practice ranges open and the driving ranges open, practice putting greens open. That's one of the big issues. Like at my club, I'm a member at Kirkbright. So, but just an example, my club, our course is open, but we're not allowed to use the practice range or the putting green. And I think that's that way across the state, and clubs across the state. It's one of the restrictions, one of the many restrictions on golf across the state. So that's going to be a huge thing. I think clubs are ready to go. Pros want to get ready to give lessons and try to grow the game. And that was part of why I wanted to do this website. Part of the goal of the website is obviously to bring the news and report a little bit on the PGA Tour, which is the tour tracker site. But the primary focus of it was to try to grow the game. And the learning the game section is mostly for pros. We've had a number of golf pros write in columns on tips, advice, experiences, whatever it might be, and those columns tend to do very well. We've reached out to every pro just about in the state to see if they want to contribute a column at some point. It doesn't have to be any specific day, or we're not looking for we're not looking for somebody to write us a book. But the columns that we've had go up have been very successful. They do very well. I think people really enjoy them, and it's a way to get people connected to pros, across the state, and eventually over the summer. The plan is to launch a video series with pros on like a weekly basis to get with them giving lessons or tips. One day it could be on the swing, one day it could be on putting, one day it could be on chipping, whatever it is. So eventually that's in the works for the summer. We're still working out the details on that, but there's going to be a video series, like a tip of the week type of thing, and so we're going to hope to launch that as soon as possible. But mainly over the summer. We're still a little ways away, but over the summer, the goal is to launch that, and that'll be part of learning the game.
If I could make one, I'm going through the site, and obviously I've looked at it before, but I'm going through the site with really focusing on what it looks like, the feel, the movement throughout the site. Years ago there was a computer game that had a little button you could click on, and that was the boss button. And you clicked on that button, and instantly a Lotus 123 spreadsheet, I'm dating myself, right? A Lotus 123 spreadsheet would open up so that when someone walked in your office, wow, he's cranking away on this spreadsheet. I might recommend something like that for your site, because I have this mental image, particularly, say, around Thursday afternoon, hypothetically, where people in offices all around Rhode Island are going to be looking at this and, kind of looking to the corners and saying, okay, who's coming? Because they're going to be playing golf videos over and over again. Stunning. It's a guilty pleasure. You find yourself immersed in some of the articles. It's an absolute guilty pleasure for people who are we need summer in Rhode Island at this point. It's a national emergency. We need to move up to date. Gina seems to be all powerful, so we need to go to Gina and say, okay, it's time to start summer now. The temperature will be 80 degrees tomorrow again, and it's sunny with those dewy mornings. And because people are craving for this, do you get that sense from the people you tested this on, as well as the golfers they're just ready to go at this point?
Yeah, people are excited to play. People are excited to get the season started. Excited for the tournaments. There's gonna be some question on, as far as state tournaments go, like the state amateur and all those things. If they get postponed or hopefully not canceled, but you never know. But people are excited to play. And like I said, the clubs, from what I've been told, in what I've seen. The clubs are packed on when the weather is nice. This weekend it's supposed to be like 66 on Sunday. The club's gonna be packed. People are gonna be playing. They have to walk, which is the only tough part for some people, because obviously not everyone can walk 18 holes. It's not an easy thing to do. I can barely do it. So because golf carts are banned in Rhode Island, so that's been tough on people. But people that can walk are going out there and walking. And again, the tee times are booked. The tee sheets are full, and people are getting out there and playing as soon as they're able to, or whenever they're able to. So I think people are excited. I'm excited for the season to start. I'm excited for not only to play with my friends and family, but I'm excited for the tournament season to start as well. It's fun to go out there and compete and, see how you do. And then after, have a couple of beers with everybody and go from there. So I'm excited for the whole thing to get started. I'm excited for the whole season to get started. And hopefully, hopefully we can get back to some sense of normalcy in the golf world relatively soon. But, we're happy to still be playing. We're happy that courses are still open. It would have been easy for Governor Raimondo to close the courses here, especially since Massachusetts shut down their courses, and they just canceled almost all of their tournaments for the summer. So they don't seem like they have much of a golf season at all, unfortunately. So, people say what they want about Raimondo and the job she's doing, and that's fine. I'm not, arguing one way or the other, but I'm happy that she's able to keep golf courses open. That's been a huge thing for me and my family because we all play golf. So.
Well, and the beauty of your site is it isn't even remotely political, and you're talking to possibly the most political person you know. There is nothing that even smacks of politics, and that's why your timing is so good. Because right now, at this point, there's a whole lot of people out there who have just had it. They're looking for those simple pleasures. I've been fortunate enough in my challenging golf experience to golf down in Warwick a couple of times for charity events. I work in the car business, and very often we'll sponsor hole-in-ones and for charities, and it adds an exciting element to it, particularly because a lot of these guys who golf at these corporate style charity events, they're pretty good, and every now and then, every once in a great while, someone hits for a car, and so that Warwick, again, the setting. I don't know if it's reproducible in Rhode Island. There are a few places where you can go as an individual and see Rhode Island in all its glory, like at Warwick, because you're literally playing golf on the water. You're talking Caribbean resort style feel on a beautiful course that's run by wonderful people who also give back to the community a lot in form of youth programs and hosting charitable events. So I mean, there's a community nature to it, but it really does represent the best of Rhode Island. But it is in its most important form right now. It is pure escapism, just absolute escapism that can take place from all of this insanity. And how therapeutic is that to you, as someone who's a golfer, to get away from it for a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I you know me. I mean, I'm not the most political person. I'm not very a political person at all. So I try not to. Not that I don't pay attention, but I don't put my opinions out there. I don't share opinions on Facebook, any of that stuff. So to me, I just go out there and play golf with my friends, and or play in tournaments, or just play for fun and have a few beers while I do it, and go from there. In the site, there's not really much politics in golf. I mean, golf is golf. You either made the putt or you didn't. Right. I think the most political thing we have on the site was yesterday when Texas announced they were going to reopen their state on Friday, and that was only on there because the PGA Tour is trying to return in June, and their opening tournament, if you will, is going to be held in Texas. And so I think that's about as political as it got on the site. And even that, I was trying to be very careful with how I was writing it, and made sure the quote was right and all this other stuff. So that was about as political as the site got, and that's only because it has to do with golf and the return of the PGA Tour. So for me it's easy. I mean, I focus on sports, I focus on golf, I focus on that kind of stuff, and just I let the other things play themselves out rather, and just try to go from there. And again, we're just trying to take it one day at a time and build it and see what happens. But it's always an escape.
So talk about the Tour Tracker site, because that's fascinating too. Again, you're looking at it from a local perspective. but you've got articles, you've got conversation about Rhode Island's Brad Faxon. You're looking at the tour and you're reporting on it locally. That's got to be a lot of fun. By the way, Woods and Manning versus Brady and Mickelson. Talk to me about that. What happened there?
So they're going to play a big match for charity. They don't have a set date yet, but I'm hearing that it's late May, and it's going to be Tiger Woods and Peyton Manning against Phil Mickelson and Tom Brady. Rumors are that the match is going to be played in Florida, and they're going to donate all their money to COVID-19 relief funds, or all the winnings, or whatever, however you want to frame it, to COVID-19 relief funds. It's stemming off of a match that Tiger and Phil played a couple years ago out in Vegas for, I think it was $9 million. So now they're kind of doing a part two, and now they're getting Peyton Manning and Tom Brady involved. And obviously Brady, obviously is a local hero. So we put it up, and now obviously now he's in Tampa. So we put that up, and then on the Tour Trackers section is just that. It's covering the PGA Tour. We're going to try to localize it when we can, because there's still local connections on the tour. But PGA Tour is not going to be our main focus, but we're going to use it to supplement, the other content. And people do like to read about the tour, and sometimes you find some cool things and cool stories. So we made it a section on the site. And again, covering the PGA Tour is not our number one focus, but we are going to cover it. And we're, like I said, me and my buddy Rich are huge golfers and huge golf fans. So, we're going to cover it and, go from there. And if there's a local story, there's still local guys competing, or guys with local ties competing. So we're going to cover the tour, and that's kind of the basis of the Tour Tracker section.
Excellent. No, this is wonderful stuff. Now, I know you and I have talked offline about, working this and extending this into a digital version here at the Coalition. And I look forward to nailing that down as we kind of start to look towards the end of this isolation we're going through. It's our website here, Coalition Radio Network, is actually going to be a network. It's not just going to be a series of endless political shows. As things lighten up, we're looking to expand into arts, the culture, and life at large here, both in Rhode Island, New England, and the greater country. And so I look forward to working with you on this. It's a great site. It touches both on the local and the national. It promotes local businesses in a manner that's purely escapist, purely fun. Yet at the same time, if you're an avid player of the game, there seems to be a great deal of practical advice, and it looks like you're going to expand on that. So it's and I salute too. It's a lot. As someone who can tell you, who's done it himself, this is a whole lot of work. I hope people, when they listen to this or when they look at the site, they understand just the sheer volume of consistent day-to-day work it takes to keep a site like this updated, interesting, current. It's hard work, isn't it?
It is. I have experience writing, obviously. I have experience covering sports and stuff, and it's a lot of work, managing this stuff. But at the same time, it's the game of golf, and I love the game of golf. And like I said, the goal is if I can do my small part to help grow the game and perhaps connect the Rhode Island golf community, then we'll be happy, or I'll be happy anyway. So that's kind of the purpose of this. We have pros writing in, like I said. We have more initiatives that we're going to launch in the coming weeks or months, whatever it might be. And we have other contributors and other things that we're doing. So and it's not all me, but it's the game of golf. It's pretty easy. Posting articles with your name on them is fun and it's rewarding. And so far we've gotten a great reaction from people, both on our Facebook page and just in public, in person. And so far it's been a great experience and it's been rewarding, and we're excited to see where we can go with it. Again, we have a long way to go. We just launched 2.5 weeks ago or so, and we launched the social media a couple days before that, excuse me. And so we have a long way to go with it. Obviously, we just started, but we're excited to see where it goes, and we think it could turn into something pretty cool. And it's going to be especially cool once the summer starts and once we're reporting on local tournament scores, for the Club X Club Championship, where no one really covers that stuff. You know what I mean? No site covers that. Obviously everybody covers the big tournaments, the stadiums, and unfortunately there's no Northeast Amateur, but that tournament, all that stuff, which is great, and we're going to cover it too. But we're excited to cover, the, Harbor Lights Club Championship. Who wins the Harbor Lights Club Championship match, and then we're going to post that on our Facebook page, and we'll social it out to Harbor Lights people, and they'll be excited to have their name out there because, again, you can't find these scores anywhere. I think the Projo puts scores, local golf scores, in the bottom corner of one of their pages, and you look at it and no one even knows what the scores mean. So we're going to do write-ups, and again, not every write-up is going to be like a book, but we're going to cover the events, and hopefully we'll get pictures. I have a couple of photographers that are interested in helping us out once in a while. And so we're excited to cover those tournaments. Maybe the big member guest tournaments, the whatever else there is. We're excited to cover that stuff, and we've been encouraging, and I would encourage golf courses to send us any news you have. It doesn't have to be some crazy breaking news. Just even if you're open or closed, or what you have going on this weekend, and we'll post it. So and those stories go over big. People like to hear about that stuff. And so, again, we're excited to see what the next couple of months bring once golf season hopefully really gets going.
No, I hear you. And how much fun will that be? I know, I have a lot of friends who've played at club tournaments for their club. There's a lot of mostly friendly rivalry there. There's a lot at stake in terms of your hyper local cred at the course. But now all of a sudden you got the media covering it and blowing your picture up and blowing up your swing and doing the play-by-play. I mean, that's great stuff. That's just going to add to the competitive flavor, because that all of a sudden that picture of you holding that 100-year-old club cup with a bottle of champagne is all of a sudden all over Rhode Island. That's just gonna fire folks up a little bit more, and we need to have something like this to be fired up of. Listen, I'm thrilled for you. Congratulations. It's a wonderful effort. I hope we can continue to work together on this. I think it represents really the best of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit. And I think at the same time, it represents a real fun thing, just something fun for Rhode Island. And again, I harp on it a little bit, just given, folks look back on this and they'll say, why was he keep talking about escapism and fun? Right now, it's just the right touch. So, Joe, congratulations to you and your partner and the crew over there. Now, in the bunker, if you will, at Golf News RI. I look forward to your continued work, buddy.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on. It was fun to be in front of the camera with you, and anytime. Me, I'm always around, and I think both of us are always up late, which is how these conversations always start. So
3 in the morning, instant messages. Let them read. They usually start up by Joe, are you up? And he would say, yeah. And then an hour later, I'd say, Joe, are you up? Nah. And I would get him the updates just in time for him to have gone to bed at 5 o'clock in the morning. We have a history here. But it's a damn fine one. So I'm proud to call him a friend. And let's you and I are going to talk about a couple of things with this. Let's blow this up, man. Let's have some fun here in Rhode Island. And a big part of it is getting outdoors and playing, hitting the course and getting the sticks going. So again, one more time, tell folks specifically where they can find you on the web and on social media. Here at the Coalition, we refer to this as shameless self-promotion. So engage in shameless self-promotion here.
So the website is straight up golfnewsri.com. It'll come right up. You can scroll down, or you can just click on sections depending on what you're looking for. Facebook is Golf News RI is just Golf News RI, and Twitter and Instagram are also just search Golf News RI and it'll come up. You'll see our logo. We're still working on the Instagram page. I haven't quite got the hang of Instagram yet. That's kind of a new thing for me, but we're working on it. And Twitter, everyone knows Twitter, and Facebook is pretty easy for me because I have a lot of history with using Facebook for posting content and stuff. So, just Golf News RI. It'll come up, golfnewsri.com. And my email is on there, golfnewsri_Joe yahoo.com. Feel free to email me, send us a Facebook message, whatever you want to do. Send us a golf course review. It can be any course. It doesn't, it can be public courses, private courses, wherever you're playing. Feel free to send a review. It doesn't matter what it is. And again, we're not looking for a book. We're just looking for a few sentences. But please, we do encourage people to take them seriously. Take the review seriously, because as Pat, I think you mentioned, golf courses might read them or see them, and so we want it to be serious and make it a serious thing, even though all we're asking for is a couple sentences. But please take it seriously.
All right,
and that's it.
All right, buddy. Thank you so much for joining us, Joe Calabro.
Thanks for having me.
All right, buddy. Absolutely. GolfNewsRI.com. It's the newest entrant, if you will, on the indie media scene here in Rhode Island. Sometimes where real creativity comes in is folks solving problems we didn't know we had. And I think in this case, there is a niche that they're filling that no one else has, and no one may have thought about doing it. But as a result, all of a sudden, you've got just another tool. A little bit of fun, a little bit of escapism, some tips on the game, some tips on where to play the game, and who can't use that. We're going to take a quick break right now. We're probably going to open up the phone lines in just a couple minutes. We are the Coalition, loud and proud, outrage porn-free, civilly disobedient media, broadcasting live on the Worldwide Coalition Radio Network here at coalitionradionetwork.com. High in the bunker overlooking the hills of Providence. Our spirit animals, Dick Cheney and Spiro Agnew, sitting here with us. They're looking at their clubs as well, wondering when they can take a break from the heady duties of the White House to go out and play a few rounds. Folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. 401-205-3738 is the number. And yes, we are taking again our effort to give a talk radio alternative to Rhode Islanders. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes.